Hi Leo, and welcome to your energy forecast for the week beginning 17th of April 2017. I'm going to throw the dice and see where we go. So we have a 3 and a 5. So 3 refers to the third house, which is ruled by Gemini. We may have a Gemini around us at the moment. The third house talks about communication, travel, and transportation, neighbours, siblings, and self-expression. The 3 in tarot refers to the Empress, the ultimate feminine energy, the nurturer, the mother, the family, the creativity. It talks of fertility and birth. There may be news of a fertility or a birth this week. There may be news of something of an emotional nature this week. And we also have the number 5. Now, the number 5 in Major Arcana talks to Taurus and the High Priest, the Hierophant. Taurus is the earthly energy that we move into from the middle of the week. The second house is ruled by Taurus, and that talks of money and incomes, material goods, self-worth, attitude to money, physical security, values and possessions. So that could be an area that we're looking at this week. But the fifth house talks to a Leo. There could be a fire sign. Fire energy is what we're leaving also this week, the fire energy of Aries. But it talks to Leo, and the fifth house talks of children, how we relate to them, romance, financial risks, games of chance, gambling. It talks of love affairs, enjoyment, fun, and stocks and investments. The Hierophant talks about tradition versus non-tradition. He talks about marriages, legal contracts, be it business or emotional. He talks about unity. He can be a wise counsellor. He can be a cleric. Maybe there is something with the church this weekend. I know I'm actually doing this over the Easter break, so there is a lot of religion based around this week. But it can talk about our views on things, our beliefs on things, our long-term beliefs regarding things. So maybe these are some aspects that are coming up this week too. The 8 in Major Arcana, when we put them all together, we come to the number 8. Now the 8th in Major Arcana again talks to a Leo, and it talks to the Strength card. Not all battles can be won with brute force and ignorance. Some need to be won by persuasion, gentleness and kindness. Now there is a lot of Saturn, Mars, Sun, and a lot of planetary aspects this week. There's 4 planets in retrograde, but a lot of energy that talks about there's a chance to lose tempers, and losing tempers this week isn't going to get anybody anywhere. Any situation that you feel you might get fired up in, you've got to look at and, find a grounded response that can be built from, not jumping off and firing off into negative energy and letting anger overcome, because that won't get anywhere this week. The 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, which does talk about such things, the rebirth, regeneration, births, deaths, the letting go, the decay of things, healing. It talks about gifts, inheritances, other people's money, but clearing out old for new. It does talk about sex and our attitude to sex. So maybe it's a physical relationship that we're looking at, Leo, this week. Maybe it's our attitude towards these situations. So can I get the third card for the first day, please? Third card for first day for Leo for the 17th of April. And we have Justice. And we have the fifth card for the second day, please. Fifth card for the second day. And we have the Nine of Cups, which is actually the Wish card. And then can we have the eighth card for the combination of two die, please? For the combination of the two dice, the eighth card. The Page of Wands. Now, before we go any further, when I purchased this deck, I got started working with it and realised that it too, like my old Mythic Tarot from the 80s, I'd got a couple of cards misplaced. Now this is that one of them cards. We've got the first card here is the Justice, but as you can see in this deck, it's pinned up as card 11, card 8, and it should be card 11. And Strength should be in the card position 8. Now our joint number on the dice was 8, and that talked to the Strength card. We have got the 8 here, so I do think actually Strength is more important in this situation than the Justice, but I'll give you energies on both. So Justice talks about balance, fairness, kindness. Justice can talk about actual legal court cases. So if there is something going off in the legal system, if there are contracts being signed, if we're looking at anything where we're wanting a just outcome in a situation, that is delivered when the Justice card appears. It talks about being calm. Now, I did say earlier with all the Saturn energy that's around this week, the retrogrades, the Sun-Saturn trine and a Mars-Saturn, that can be really tricky energies this week and actually make us feel like we want to fiery react. We want to erupt. Be mindful not to do that this week. If we treat the energies right and gentle and use them in the best way possible, we're going to get a fair and just outcome. This card talks of integrity, truth, support. There's a decision that's going to be made, and it will be a fair outcome in respect of what you put in. If you was unfair and unjust and did something wrong to somebody or reacted abusive or violently to someone, let's say, then justice isn't even going to show up, is it? You know, we've got fair. If we've been fair, there's going to be a fair judgment on something. It talks about taking a practical approach to things and keeping a balance, truthful, calm perspective. She's very much in touch with her intuition here, the purple in her hair. You know, it's seeing it from all sides before casting that verdict. Things don't need to be perfect when this card's around, but workable. So look for workable situations, which again, you know, with this firing off of energy, you don't have to totally compromise, but just find a footing that's workable to build from, rather than it exploding out of hand. And that's next to the Nine of Cups, which, as I say, the Nine of Cups actually is the minor arcana equivalent of the Star card and the Wish. There's some kind of wish coming true with this card. It's a minor fulfillment. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get everything that you've wished for in love, but it talks of a wish being granted. It talks of happiness, support, love, entertaining, harmony, the home, relationships. It talks of an emotional fulfillment of some kind. It can talk of benefiting from friendships. It can talk of appreciating what we have got and the love we've got around us. It does talk of a chance of entertaining and socialising, so maybe there is some entertaining and socialising this week. Now, Libra is the zodiac sign that justice refers back to, so maybe there's a meeting with a air sign this week, Libra, Gemini or Aquarius. That could also be in the cards. And then we have the Page of Wands. Now, the Page of Wands is a young fire energy. The Page of Wands talks about creativity, is full of ambition, is full of creative spark. They can mean children, but it's usually a younger, I see him as a younger fire energy. This guy's charming and chatty. He could bring great news about a creative project, about travel plans or a new job. It can signify fun flirtations in romance. It can also be a card of realisation, recognition that we're finding our own creative potential. He talks of marriage, travel, news, communication, transitions, and entertainment again. Now, one of the house signs we pulled up talked about entertainment and having good times. So in this read, if we go back again and we look at this card not being justice, this card being the Strength card, that would fit in very well with the energy forecast that we had in the areas that we looked at and what is actually going on in the planetary system at this time. When we look at the Strength card, that talks all about brute force and ignorance. Doesn't work in this situation. This is a situation where you're understanding that if you're gentle, kind and persuasive, and I'm not going to say manipulative, because then it is used in the wrong way and justice doesn't come back right then. But our persuasiveness, our willingness to work together, our willingness to negotiate and find a footing that we can build from is a perfect placement here. To find that happiness, keeping our temper this week over a situation, there may be something that just totally rubs you up the wrong way and you want to flare off and react. By watching our reactions this week to that situation and finding a compromise to work through the energy is how we get the emotional satisfaction that we're looking for in the situation. You'll have to excuse me. I've got my daughter home from school for the Easter holidays. And we're upstairs banging out on 2 keyboards as we speak. I'm not going to stop the video. I've done that many times this week and ended up not getting anywhere. I'm just going to pull 3 more cards of an little overview, and then this video will be complete. And the 3 cards we've got is the Chariot, the Fool and Death. So in order to move forward and take a new start, take a risky new start, we have to accept change. So maybe something is changing this week and we don't like it, and this is why the Justice is here, but it's going to be a fair change. And if we use the influence of the Strength card to get through it, our compromise, our negotiation skills, we're going to find an emotional, happy outcome to that situation, and maybe promote a creative spark that we can move on to into next week. The Chariot does talk of moving forward. It also talks about new transport and travel. So we could be travelling this week. We could be travelling for wands this week, or a new start, a new interview, something like that. But it could talk about purchasing a new car too. The Fool does talk about taking that brand new step, leap of faith into something new. And we have the Page of Wands, which would be a messenger bringing something of a passionate nature that could be worked upon, an idea, inspiration. And if we accept the changes that come in, we can glide through this energy this week with no major problems. The change of energy this week, look at as a new start and leap of faith that will propel you forward, probably in a creative nature, but an emotional fulfillment and feeling and understanding the strength of wisdom inside. Maybe it's declaring our truths and keeping a good balanced outlook on the situation this week. Well, I hope that helps, and have a lovely week, and chat next week. Bye.